Welcome to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the #1 podcast and resource for Black entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. If you're currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, you're invited to join us each and every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family and get ready to elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 394. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today's show topic is Don't Quit. 10 tips to make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. Don't quit. 10 tips to make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. One of the worst feelings on earth, guys, is when your business collapses and your dreams die. Now, it's almost like losing a family member. And in my 20 years plus of being a serial entrepreneur, I started over 17 businesses, and I've seen my share of successes and failures. So today we're going to talk about 10 tips that can help you overcome some of these pitfalls and live your entrepreneurial dreams. Before we jump into today's subject matter, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and my resource links, such as the link to my new book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. Also, 2 platforms I've created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide Black economy, BeSmartByBlack.com and Hire Black Freelancers. Also want to remind you guys about the new rebranded, rebooted BEBacademy.com. Make sure you go to BEBacademy.com. You can get 3 days free access to everything inside the academy. Now, we have all types of resources such as masterclasses, online courses, trainings, and such. So it doesn't matter if you are a current entrepreneur or you're a prospective entrepreneur. You can go in and take any of the trainings inside the academy for 3 days free. So if you need to learn how to set up your business, your LLC or your S Corp or C Corp, that's in there. If you need marketing help, that's in there. If you need financing help, that's in there. So make sure you go to BEBacademy.com, get your free 3-day trial, and take advantage of the resources inside the academy. Now, let's get on to today's topic. Don't quit. 10 tips to make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. So once again, guys, when you're trying to strive for this entrepreneurial dream and build your successful business, we all know that it's very hard out there. And anybody that tells you anything different hasn't started a business before. Trust me. So today we're going to discuss how to keep moving forward for your entrepreneurial dreams when you feel like giving up and quitting. And we're going to talk about 10 tips that can help you move forward. Also, guys, don't forget, in terms of being a successful entrepreneur, you always need to level up. So if you need help starting and growing your business, I just mentioned BEB Academy. Go to BEBacademy.com. If you don't know what business to start, go on BlackEntrepreneurblueprint.com and go under Learning and click Courses, and Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius is the course for you. Your genius is the intersection between your passion and your talent. The problem is most people don't know how to monetize that. And also, if you want to start a successful e-commerce business, go to the BlackEntrepreneurblueprint.com. Once again, hit Learning, hit Courses, and then we have BBAElite.com, which is Brand Builder Academy Elite.com. That is a full-blown implementation program, 15 weeks for somebody that wants to start a successful e-commerce business, be it a physical products business or a digital products business. Go to BBAElite.com. So let's start off with tip number 1. And we're talking about 10 tips to make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. Tip number 1, identify your why. So your why is really the fuel that drives you. And if you don't have a clear understanding of your why, the chances of you succeeding are really exponentially reduced. And remember, guys, your why is more than just I want to make money or I hate my job. You need to get deeper and uncover what does that why mean to you. So that's the foundation of your why. Well, what is the foundation of your why? For example, I want to build this e-commerce business so I can stay home with my children. I want to create passive income in real estate so I can build generational wealth for my children and my children's children. I want to build my mobile car wash business so I can get my family into a better neighborhood or environment. So identify your why, but you need to go deeper. What does that mean for you? Yes, we all want to make money, but what does starting your business, what does it really mean? What does it equate to? Does it equate to you being able to provide a better source of living for your family? Does it allow you to move out of your neighborhood into another neighborhood, a safer neighborhood? Does it allow you to help build generational wealth? So identify your why and really hone in on what that why means. We all want to make more money. Trust me, millionaires and billionaires still want to make more money. But what does it really mean? What is the effect of that money once you get it? How is that going to change your life and the lives of your family? So number one, identify your why. Tip number two, who do you want to serve and why? Who do you want to serve and why? And you may be asking yourself, why is Jay asking this question? But as business owners, we're actually serving, okay? We are serving a particular segment of people or a particular segment of businesses if you're doing B2B. So who do you want to serve and why? So, for example, I want to serve the Black entrepreneur community because I'm part of that community and I understand how important Black-owned businesses are for the progress for us to build an economic power base. So who I'm serving means something to me. Now, you don't have to really be in touch with who you're serving, but you need to identify who it is and you need to be able to understand what their situation is. So who do you want to serve and why? Many times we identify the group we want to serve based on our experiences. So for example, if I have a friend who lost her mother due to breast cancer. So she's doing a lot of work in that space, in the breast cancer space. It may be something that happened to you personally or happened to your family that helped you identify who you want to serve. But the bottom line is you need to understand that marketplace that you're serving. The more you understand it, the better off you're going to be. So for example, with me in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, I am the market. Okay, so I identify with it and I truly understand it because I am part of that market. So I'm actually serving people just like me, Black entrepreneurs that are trying to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. And what we're talking about today, guys, is don't quit. 10 tips to make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. That was number two. Number three, find the right product or service to sell. Find the right product or service to sell. And I'm going to tell you guys, this can be the difference between winning and losing when it comes to entrepreneurship. So a lot of times we end up selling stuff that we think people want and they really don't want. Okay, so there's a couple of questions you want to ask yourself. Have you done your proof of concept or testing yet? Have you got proof of concept? Is this going to work? Or have you tested it yet? Okay, now I understand there's a lot of focus groups and things out there. Focus groups are great. Please do that. Okay, you can ask family, friends, strangers or whatever. Create a focus group and ask them what they think about your product and or service. Okay, but the true test is somebody going into their pocket and actually buying your product or service. That is the true litmus test of, do you have the right product or service to sell? Okay, also, who needs your product or service? And we're talking number three, find the right product or service to sell. Who needs your product or service? What problem are you solving? I always talk about solving problems when you're starting a business. It's the easiest and simplest formula to actually be successful in business. Problem, solution, result. What's the problem? The solution is whatever your product or service is. And the result is, it's going to make it better. It's going to solve the problem, but you want to give specifics to what the result is. Oh, my feet hurt. All right. The solution is J. Jones arch supports. And the result is now you can go to work all day if you're a waiter or waitress and you can stand up without your feet hurting. What does that mean? That means that I'll be more friendly and I'll be smiling on the floor. What does that mean? I'll probably make more tips because I'm more cordial. Okay. And that's what I was talking about, going deeper with your why. But we're talking right now about find the right product or service. Okay. What problem are you solving? Are you in the right industry or vertical? That's something else that's very important. So, for example, if there was such thing as coal powered cars, right? You wouldn't want to sell those right now, right? Because cars run off gasoline and electricity, and that's where it's moving. So you want to make sure that you're in the right vertical. You're in the right marketplace. So look at emerging markets. And I just mentioned like the electronic vehicle market is an emerging market. They're going to need a lot of different services and businesses that are going to be created around that. You're going to have installers, people that can install the chargers. You're going to have to be able to install them in people's homes as these cars get more prevalent. And you're going to have locations where people, when they go shopping, just like I came from Costco not long ago, they got a couple electronic vehicle charging stations. Businesses are going to need those. They're going to need maintenance. They're going to need parts. They're going to need batteries. So one of the things in terms of finding the right product or service is, are you in the right vertical? Are you in the right industry or market? And I mentioned earlier, do people really want your products or services? Do they really want your products or services? Now, I'm going to give you a conversation that I had 2 days ago with one of my good friends. And he's talking about starting this virtual reality business in an old warehouse or in an old retail location that the store or the company moved out of. So there are a ton of these places open or available right now, because obviously we know what has happened with retail. So with the coronavirus and stuff, a lot of big box stores and a lot of retailers have been closing down. So if you look in these strip malls, there's a whole bunch of locations available. And one of the things is he's in the process right now of trying to get back into business. And his idea is to start a virtual reality. I guess it's almost like a fun center, which is going to cost probably a couple $1 million. That's fine and that's dandy. But let's look at where you are right now, what resources you have, and that can be your long-term plan. You got to be realistic. Let's look at let's build some cash flow first. Let's start a business that we can actually start right now with not having to rely on other people's monies or having to raise a couple $1 million. That's something that can happen, but let's focus on something that you can do today. A lot of times when you have these bigger ideas, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you can get the capital and the financing, that's all good. But if you're spending a year, 2 years, 5 years trying to get financing, guess what? You're not creating a business that's bringing you in any revenue. There's no cash flow. So a lot of times we have to walk and then run. So if you build a business that's providing cash flow, right? Now you have something you can bring to the table. But if you're coming to the table with nothing, it's harder to start a business like that. So once again, number 3, find the right product or service to sell. All right. This is Don't Quit, 10 tips to make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. Number 4, prepare to be successful. Now, this sounds idiotic for me to even say this, right? But there's a lot of people that don't really prepare to be successful. They prepare, but they're not preparing to be successful. So in order to do that, that's work is required, right? So one of the things that you want to start out with is learning. Always continue to increase your education and your skill set. So if you're trying to be successful in entrepreneurship, that means that you should be studying entrepreneurship. I'm not talking about in a college or university, but I mean reading books, taking online courses, finding a mentor. You need to be learning all the time because there's no such thing as standing still. Either you're going forward or you're going backwards. Okay. So prepare to be successful. Planning. So you need to create your business plan and write down your ideas. Now, my thing about business plans is it doesn't need to be a 500-page business plan. Okay, there's business plan software out there that can actually walk you through the whole process and make you think about certain things. But you need to have some type of plan as you move forward. And remember, a business plan is going to be fluid. It's something you're putting estimations and guesstimations down on a piece of paper, and then that plan is going to change as you move forward. Okay, you want to research your opportunities. Okay, what are some new opportunities that you can leverage? And I just talked about electronic vehicles, that market. That's a new market that you can possibly leverage. You may be able to get in close to the ground floor. So we're talking about being prepared to be successful, okay? Another thing is testing proof of concept. I mentioned that earlier. You need to have proof of concept to prepare yourself for success. If you're doing a test on a product or service and you find that most people, the majority of people, don't want it, don't like it, don't think it makes sense, guess what? You're probably not going to be successful if you move forward with that product, okay? Another thing you can do to prepare to be successful is find a mentor or a guide. Find a mentor or a guide, somebody that's several steps ahead of you, somebody that's going to take you under their wing and help guide you because they've been there, done that before. And a lot of times we don't really take mentors seriously, but that's a way that you can level up that learning and shorten the learning curve by doing or working with somebody that's doing something that you're trying to do. So if somebody, and this happens all the time, they ask me about how to create a successful podcast. So I cut the learning curve down. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. A buddy of mine just came to me, him and one of his other boys, and they talking about starting a podcast. And I said, what's your frequency? We're going to do it probably every 2 to 3 weeks. You know, I said, stop. I said, time out, bro. I said, don't even waste your time. I said, because if you don't have at least a weekly frequency with your podcast, you're not going to gain traction and you're wasting time. And he was like, oh man, I didn't yeah, that's why you came to me, because I got a successful podcast. So I can tell you what it takes. So don't sleep on finding a mentor or a guide. All right, tip number 5, start with small wins. Start with small wins. So in this day and age, guys, the attention span of people is very short. Instant gratification is the norm. And a lot of times, if we don't have some type of success in a certain period of time, people start to get frustrated. But you want to start with small wins. So many times our goals are so big and robust to hit that we don't even give ourselves the small wins that we need to keep us motivated. So you got to break it down into small wins. And here's an example for you. So say you have an e-commerce business that you're starting. So your first e-commerce sale, that's a small win. Oh man, and I'm telling you, the first time you sell something online on an e-commerce platform, yours or whoever, it really sinks in. It's like, man, somebody bought my product or service and I wasn't really doing anything. I just put it up there and created the system. So your first e-commerce sale is a small win, right? When you meet your sales projections for the day, I'm not talking about the week or the month, but for the day. So if you have a new business and today your goal is to make $100, right? You may not be profitable, but it's still a goal. And by the end of the day, you sold $120 worth of product. That's a small win. And you have to understand that you got to take these small wins and stack them on top of each other. So the more small wins you have, that's eventually going to equate into big wins, okay? So you completed your business plan. That's not a revenue producing win or whatever, but it's moving you closer to where you need to be. So small wins, you have to help. Sometimes you just gotta pamper yourself, right? You gotta reward yourself when you do something. So if you have a real good week, maybe you'll go out to dinner or something like that. But almost gamifying it, because once again, we know what the big goal is, and that's a huge goal to meet. Being able to create a successful, sustainable business. But if we break it down and start with small wins, that's going to help propel us and keep us hyped up and motivated as we move forward. That was number 5. Number 6, set realistic goals and measure your progress. set realistic goals, and measure your progress. All right, this is something, and I'm gonna give you guys a real life example on this, but make sure you have realistic goals. So goals that are attainable, but yet stretch you a little bit or stretch you enough where you really have to work to reach those goals. You don't want to make them too easy to hit because that's not stretching you. So just think about when you're exercising, right? If you've been doing a series or an exercise workout for a long period of time, really, and you can get through it and you're really not stressing those muscles or your cardio, you're not really gaining anything. You always have to increase it a little bit. So set realistic goals, but make sure that it makes you stretch to reach them, okay? So many new entrepreneurs have unrealistic goals, and when they don't hit those goals or come anywhere near them, they get frustrated. So for an example, when my buddy and I had our condom company, right? Our initial goal in our business plan, and I even feel like an idiot now saying it. Our initial goal in year one was to take over 15% of the condom market. All right. Now we're talking about Trojans, Lifestyles, Safetex, all these other condom brands that are out there. And you got two dudes in an office in West Philly with a new product, and we thinking we're going to take over 15% of the market share. Now, it's funny. I still have that business plan. And when I look at it, I just like, man, I laugh to myself because I totally had no idea, neither one of us, what the hell we were talking about. If we got 1/15%, we would have been in good shape. Okay, but you need to set realistic goals and measure your progress. Sometimes if you're not sure what a realistic goal is, talk to somebody that's in the industry. Okay, talk to somebody that's already there and start looking at market share for different products or services. Now, sometimes you're not going to be able to get that data, but you need to set realistic goals, something that, once again, is attainable, but you're going to have to stretch to get there. Number 7, surround yourself with positive people and like-minded people. Surround yourself with positive people and like-minded people. Being an entrepreneur, guys, is tough enough. But if you surround yourself with negative people and negative energy that don't support your dream, all it's going to do is bring you down. And that's the last thing you need as an entrepreneur. It's tough enough by yourself, right? You don't need the negativity or the energy to affect you. What you want to do is you want to find like-minded people, like a network of like-minded entrepreneurs that speak the same language as you, okay? And that language is called boss. And I'm going to tell y'all, it really is a different language when you're an entrepreneur versus when you're talking to a civilian. It's funny, I had a conversation the other day with a family member of mine that I call a civilian, right? They don't even think about entrepreneurship. The only way that they know they're going to make money is by going to work, working for somebody else. And we were just talking about some of our dreams. And I'm like, yeah, I love to have a nice little pad out in the Hollywood Hills, blah, 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 blah. And she looked at me and was like, how you going to get that? But see, with that mindset and her not speaking my same language, not speaking boss, the only thing that she could fathom is, okay, I make X amount of dollars a year. Every paycheck, I make X amount of dollars. There's no way I can afford that. When you speak boss, you know that you could come into a nice run or a situation where you're making tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars a year. That is a possibility. But the language barrier right there is it's like speaking another language you don't understand. So they're limited to what their income is at their job. And they figure that they'll never be able to live in a house in the Hollywood Hills. Okay. Now, with me as an entrepreneur, there's a possibility of that happening because I create my own destiny. I don't let anybody give me a set amount of money every 2 weeks or every week. Been there, done that. So once again, surround yourself with people that are like-minded, people that speak the same language as you, which is boss. And when you really break it down, the opportunity for entrepreneurs is unlimited. It's what we make of it. And when we're talking to a civilian that doesn't understand or comprehend what is possible, then their mind is limited by what their income is. Whatever they get paid that week or every 2 weeks, their mind is limited by that because those are the resources that they have. And they know they're going to have them every week or every 2 weeks. Whereas us as entrepreneurs speaking a different language, we know that, yeah, that's possible. We may be making the same or we may make less than the civilian, but there's also the opportunity to exponentially grow our income. And that's the difference, because you're really talking to people that don't understand or don't believe that it's possible. And so once again, guys, number 7, surround yourself with positive people and like-minded people, people that understand what you're going through. All right, number 8, guys. Number 8, and we're talking about don't quit. 10 tips to make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. Number 8, build your platform from day one and exponentially increase your chances of success. Build your platform from day one and exponentially increase your chances for success. I say it all the time, and I'm never going to stop saying it, because you need to understand the power and the importance of having a platform that you own. Remember, platform building is the long game. It's the long game. And many entrepreneurs don't understand the importance of the platform or have the patience to build a platform or create one. Remember, a platform is a way really to communicate with your audience, and it's something that you own. I'm not talking about Instagram. You don't own that. You can get shut down on Instagram. I'm not talking about Twitter. I'm not talking about Facebook. I'm not talking about TikTok. I'm not talking about YouTube. Because you don't own any of those, and you unfortunately can get shut down. Now, you leverage those tools, but that's not your main platform. Okay. So your platform is your podcast. Nobody can touch that, right? Your platform is your website. Nobody can touch that, right? Your platform is your blog on your website. Nobody can touch that, right? Your platform is your newsletter. Nobody can touch that, right? Your platform is your database. Nobody can touch that, right? Exactly. Because you own everything. Leverage all the social media stuff. That's fine. But you need to have a platform that you communicate all the time, that you control. All right. So once again, I'll tell you the story. Brother had a big business on Instagram, was doing crazy numbers. Competitor came around. They had some type of beef. Competitor had his people call up, shut the business down, opened his Twitter, Instagram account again, and it kept getting shut down. And basically, he lost the business. Okay, because his platform, or he thought his platform, was Instagram. Really, he didn't have a platform. He was building his business on sand, not rock. All right. So build your platform from day one. If you have a platform, if you have 50,000, a database of 50,000 email subscribers, 25,000 newsletter subscribers, 100,000 podcast downloads a month, whatever else, you can communicate, okay, with anybody in your audience without being scared of getting shut down. Okay, now you have that platform. So you have a website, right? You have a travel website. Well, I'm just using this as an example. And you sell travel packages. All right, guess what? People coming to your website, looking at your blog posts, you're putting links in there to travel packages or whatever. You can make money that way. You have a travel website. What do people need when they travel? Luggage, right? So now you do a couple articles on the best type of luggage, so you can link out as an affiliate link, or you can create your own brand of luggage. Okay, what else do people like to do when they travel? They may need sunglasses. They may need hats. They may need travel clothing. They may need passport carriers. So when you have a platform, it's unlimited in terms of the ways you can monetize it. And that's just a website or a blog. Okay. So don't sleep on building your platform. Do that when you start. It's not going to benefit you right away, but in the long term, it's going to be invaluable. And it could be the difference of building a $1 million business versus building a $100,000 business. That's number 8, build your platform. Number 9, you must be consistent. You must be consistent. So you have to be consistent in order to grow your business. Do you consistently put out content or good content, right? Do you consistently communicate with your audience? Do you consistently improve your products or services? Do you consistently improve your business? So consistency. So this episode is number 394. 394 weeks in a row since I started this podcast. Every Monday, you get new heat from Jay Jones and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint for 394 weeks in a row. Consistency. The BEB family knows the podcast comes out every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on all your major podcast platforms and YouTube. That is a given. It is consistency. So I get a lot of BEB family members reaching out. Yeah, man, I can't wait to listen to your episode Monday morning while I'm driving to work or while I'm in my truck or my car, whatever. They know, you guys know, Monday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's when something drops. So you have to be consistent. Remember, consistency works over the long haul. You see, consistency isn't going to change your business right away or in the short term. Consistency is something that takes into effect over a long period of time. So it's just like if I wanted to get a six-pack, right? I can do 100 sit-ups for 10 days in a row. Guess what? I'm not going to have a six-pack. But if I did 100 sit-ups for 500 days in a row, over that period of time, I would build a six-pack up. It's consistency. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It's going to gain momentum. So I think one of the biggest issues right now is if we don't see results right away, we tend to back off. But you have to be consistent in anything that you do to show the results long term. If you're on a diet, you got to be consistent with it. If you're working out, you got to be consistent with it. If you own a business, you have to be consistent with it. When you're putting out content, you have to be consistent with it. People start to understand your rhythm. It's just like my buddy and his friend talking about their podcast that they were talking about doing every 2 to 3 weeks, which is freaking ridiculous. Okay. And what day are you coming out? I don't know. I know people who have podcasts, they don't even have a consistent day they drop. They may drop once a week, but it might be Monday this week, Thursday next week, Tuesday the following week. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. Okay. That's number 9. And we're talking about don't quit. 10 tips to make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. Number 10. And this kind of talks to that, what I was just talking about. Treat your business like a business, not a hobby. Treat your business like a business, not a hobby. All right. And I see this all the time. Many entrepreneurs treat their business like it's a hobby. So you get out of it what you put into it, right? So don't expect full-time income if you only putting in part-time effort. Now, of course, you can leverage technology to help you out, but you get out what you put in. So if you over there BSing around all week and you expecting your business to do something and you're not doing anything, what's happening? What's happening is what's supposed to happen. You don't put the work in, you don't get the reward out. And that's what I'm talking about. So take time to make your business look like a real business too. When I was talking with Pam Perry, episode 393 last week, we were joking around and we were talking about doing business or doing business, right? And so you need to treat your business like a business, not a hobby. So here's some examples. Get a professional email account, right? Not abcroofing@gmail.com. It's the perception right off. Damn, they not even going to spend $12 a year to get a business email account, right? Have some sort of website or a presence. It doesn't have to be a full-blown website. It could be a landing page, coming soon, whatever. Just something, but you need to treat your business like a business, not a hobby. And I know, trust me, if you're trying to, move from employee to entrepreneur and make that transition, I get it. You go to work, you come home, you may have kids, you got to cook, you got to do all of this. It's rough, but you have to set aside the time to be successful in your business. So if you work from 9 to 5, you get home at 6, make dinner, put the kids down. By the time the kids down is 9:30, whatever. So from 10 o'clock maybe to 1 o'clock, 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, maybe that's your time that you got to get down and really get involved with your business. Or if you got to get up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning and get stuff done before you go to work. So you got to make sure that you allot the time that's necessary to make your business profitable. Sometimes we're playing with it. And when you're playing with it, that's all it's going to be. It's going to be a hobby. You got to really commit to it. I want to talk about, before we get to the last section of the show, guys, let me just share my social media contact information and resource links. First and foremost, guys, the new website is up. Everything I'm about to tell you, just go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. When you go to the site, if you want the resources, you click the Learn tab. And then once that drop down, it'll have the blog, it'll have marketing, e-commerce, scaling your business, courses, strategy and mindset, real estate, business ideas and side hustles, building wealth. So go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, hit the Learn tab. You can be on your phone or whatever, and it has all of that content in there. Also, on the bottom of your phone, or if you're on your laptop, you'll see a questionnaire. It's going to ask you, do you own a business? Yes or no. If you say yes, it's going to ask you what do you need help with the most right now? And it's going to give you some options. So if you say marketing, you click that and it's going to take you to the marketing resources. They're free resources and they're also paid resources. So everything I'm about to tell you, go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, but I will give you the individual URLs also. So I mentioned my new book at the top of the show, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. So if you're interested in building a successful, sustainable e-commerce business, go to anewblackwallstreet.com. Pick yourself up a copy, $14.95 for the print version, $9.95 for the digital version. Once again, obviously, you can find it on the website. Now, if you need additional assistance building your successful, sustainable e-commerce business, my flagship program, Brand Builder Academy Elite, a 15-week implementation program that takes you from A to Z, takes you from product ideation to creating your corporation or LLC, all the way to selling your product on your sites and other applicable sites, pound for pound, the best course on e-commerce in the market, bbaelite.com. I also mentioned at the top of the show, guys, 2 platforms I created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide black economy. The first one is BeSmartBuyBlack.com. Now, go to BeSmartBuyBlack.com, upload your product information, and you can connect with black consumers worldwide that want to buy black-owned products. And the best part is, guys, it's free. BeSmartBuyBlack.com, upload your product info. It is free. Now, I didn't forget about you freelancers. So if you do anything like on Fiverr or Freelancer.com, I've created a platform for you called Hire Black Freelancers, HIRE, blackfreelancers.com. Once again, it is free. Upload your contact information and you can connect with black consumers and black business owners that want to hire black freelancers. Also, I mentioned at the top of the show, guys, my new rebranded, rebooted BEBacademy.com. We're about to put some new content in the academy. You can get 3 days free access. Go to BEBacademy.com. Once again, just go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com and you'll find all of this. But sometimes some people want the direct link, so these are the direct URLs. Now, if you want to connect with me, if it's anything long, hit me on my email, jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JAYJONES at blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Twitter, JJones001, JAYJONES001. Instagram, I got 2 IG accounts. The first one is JJones for real, JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. The second one is Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, family. I got additional content on YouTube that is not on the podcast. Just go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint and hit the subscribe button. If you're on LinkedIn, follow me on LinkedIn, J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Clubhouse, if you're on Clubhouse, follow me at I am J Jones. Also with my new companion podcast, Ask J Live, that comes out every Tuesday, 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. I take live calls from the BEB family. go to askjlive.com. Once again, guys, just go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. It's a much easier way to go. Play around on the website. Make sure you take advantage of the resources. Once again, guys, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, I want that to be the resource for Black entrepreneurs to find everything they need to launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. Now, before we close on that, I just want to talk about today's show, Don't Quit, 10 Tips to Make Your Entrepreneurial Dreams Come True. Guys, I know how it feels, like if you ever felt like quitting, right? Have you ever felt you weren't successful because you didn't know the game or you didn't know enough? Do you feel that entrepreneurship is too hard? And those are some of the things that you may be feeling right now. You just can't get it right. Damn, I'm trying everything. I'm listening to this person, that person. I just can't get it right. Once again, guys, that's why the resources are on the website. So if you need help starting and growing your business, BEBacademy.com is the best thing for you. So you don't know what business to start, Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius will help walk you through and find the business that's specifically designed by you, because it takes the intersection of your passion and your talent, and it teaches you how to monetize that. Now, if you're interested in e-commerce, just go to bbaelite.com, Brand Builder Academy Elite.com. But it's hard to be an entrepreneur, and I know sometimes you can get down. People can be in your ear. I know from my experience when I first got married, I started one of my businesses, and my wife and I, we used to butt heads a lot. So she's from the educational vertical. Her parents were teachers and principals. She's a teacher. And so in those industries, you don't lose jobs. You got to do something real crazy to lose a job, right? So that's a very safe vertical, a very safe industry. Whereas when I'm leaving corporate America and I'm going into entrepreneurship, and when I started being an entrepreneur, it wasn't cool like it is now. Now, oh yeah, I'm a founder, I'm a this. When you leave a nice job in corporate America back then, people are like, yo, is this dude a nut? Is freaking idiot or what? Now it's cool. But that's something that my wife had to adjust to. So the paychecks weren't coming in like they were before. There was no consistency there, because when you're starting out, a lot of times there's no money, and then sometimes there's money, then other times you may have a decent windfall for that week or that month. So I know how it is, guys. I almost lost it all 2 times. Trust me. I know how it is. I've been blessed to be able to come back and make 2 major comebacks, but I've seen it all. I've seen the gamut, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. So I understand what you're going through. I'm talking from experience, from know-how. And one thing I want you guys to know is if you get out of the game, you will not be successful. You will not be successful. One of the things that my father, when we talked about before he passed away, one of his biggest regrets, he was a very successful entrepreneur, went to corporate, then he became an entrepreneur, had some issues with his business partner, basically got scammed, and he was left holding the bag. And my great grandfather, his grandfather, had to bail him out financially, and he was scared. He never got back on that horse. And what he found himself doing was working jobs that he knew he was overqualified for. He wasn't fulfilled. And basically he gave up. And he said, man, he regrets that to this day. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be you. Now, I understand you have to navigate your individual circumstances. You have responsibilities. I get that. Been there, done that. But if you have a spouse or partner, you have to let them know and understand, this is what I'm meant to do. I'm not doing this because it's a whim. And that's what my wife had to understand. This is innate with me. This is me. I wasn't built to work for somebody else. I had to keep, quitting and getting fired to figure out that this wasn't for me. All right. So you have to understand and be able to communicate, babe, I'm not doing this just to do it. I'm doing this because this is in me. This is something, and I had to explain to my wife, this is, yeah, I'm doing it for me because it's innate, but it's going to benefit you also. So when I come home busting my hump from work, and even though I'm working hard, the money may not be there, I had to explain to her, I'm like, look, You know, you're all up in my ear. Yo, I just came home from a hard day. I'm scratching, scraping and clawing, trying to make this paper. And now I'm coming home and you over in my ear because the bill collectors are calling. I get that. I said, the question is, though, are you helping? All right, there's a difference between supporting and tolerating. And I say, you tolerate me with my business. I need somebody that's going to support me. And I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about mentally and emotionally. So when I come home from getting my ass kicked out there trying to start this business, and I want all you partners, wives, husbands, whatever, if you have a partner, a wife or a husband who's an entrepreneur and you're in corporate America, you need to understand this. You can turn that entrepreneur into a Superman or Superwoman or a bum. You can help turn them into that anyway. All right. And it's a difference between tolerating what they're doing and supporting. So tolerating is like, yeah, whatever. When's that paper coming in? I ain't even trying to hear that. This is a real conversation. My wife was like, look, man, I ain't even trying to hear all of that. When the money coming in? Okay, yeah, thanks. That really makes me feel good. Like I'm not trying to make money. Or I could come home. Hey, babe, how was your day? Man, it was tough out there, but I'm still grinding. I know that. I know you're going to do it. I know you're going to be successful because I believe in you. Do you understand the difference that makes to an entrepreneur? Do you understand? I'm telling you, it'll make you run through walls. Babe, I know you got it. You're going to do it. I believe in you. We're going to do this thing together. What do we need to do? How can I help you? Versus coming home, yeah, you know, the electric about to get shut off, the car about to get repoed, blah, all of this. You still doing this dumb stuff with this entrepreneurship. Go get a job. Been there, done that. My message to the partners, spouses, or whatever of entrepreneurs, there's a difference between tolerating and supporting. And what I used to tell my wife is, if this goes well for me, guess what? It goes well for you. So it would behoove you to support me, okay? Because if you help make me better, that's just going to be better for the family. Sometimes people got to dig in so hard that they cut off their nose to spite their face. But this is a long game. And if you're willing to get in the mud, you're willing to go and struggle for a little bit, cut back on things. And I still do this. I don't buy cars for 10 years, right? So I'm not really a big car person. I like nice cars, but I keep my cars till the wheels fall off. So it was no thing for me to drive an older model car, right? So I'm like, I'm not out here buying dumb stuff. I'm out here trying to build assets. I'm out here trying to build a business in the long term that's going to make us live like we probably never dreamed we could live before. You got to understand the dream. You got to understand the why. And when I finally broke it down to her, yo, if you helping me, all it does is help us. So if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Okay? If you can't support me, then I'd rather you not say nothing than you say something that you're basically tolerating me starting my business. And when I finally broke it down and she understood how serious and committed I was to entrepreneurship, the light bulb went off and she got it. I wasn't doing it because it was a whim. I wasn't doing it because somebody else was doing it. I wasn't doing it because I heard this is the best way to do something. I was doing it because that is innate in me. I am a builder. I am a creator. Bottom line, I'm a boss. And if you got boss in you, once again, you got to talk to people in the language of boss. And sometimes, unfortunately, your spouse or your partner may not speak that language. So you have to intervene and let them know why you're doing this. Yeah, we may not have money right now, babe. The lights may be getting ready to get cut off. The car, park the car around the corner. That's today. But as an entrepreneur, your fortunes can change in a minute, in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year. And you could be somewhere that you never thought you'd be before. Man, don't get me started. All right, let me close this thing on out, man, because I could do a whole nother show on that. But please, partners and spouses of entrepreneurs, support them. Don't tolerate them. Support them and help yourself, okay? You ain't just helping them, you helping yourself. All right. And if you're an entrepreneur, stop playing with this. This ain't a side. It ain't no part-time thing. Treat your business like a business, not a hobby. And when your spouse and partner sees you grinding and putting that work in, they're going to respect that. They're going to know that you're serious. If you come home every day talking about you got a business and you playing PlayStation for 4 hours, then guess what? That's not going to work. You got to commit to this thing, man. Now, I say this each and every week, family, but we get more and more downloads because of you, the BEB family. I love you guys and I appreciate you. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast, the new website with all of the resources on it. Don't forget to go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Everything I talk about is on the website. Please continue to spread the word about everything, the ecosystem, because it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us. It's about building an economic power base in the worldwide black economy. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.